What's up guys, Earl here, Tech, and POCO released the M4 Pro 5G with competitive specs with a starting price of only 11,990 pesos. It promises to power up the fun for those who are looking at their phones as entertainment. So how does it stack up? Find out in this review. First, let's talk about the design. As we mentioned in our hands-on, the POCO M4 Pro is slightly identical to the Redmi Note 11, which isn't surprising since the POCO M3 Pro was also based on the Redmi Note 10 design. The body is made out of a polycarbonate with matte textured finish material, and the back panel is very nice to the touch. However, we still recommend using the free jelly case included in the box as it is still dust and smudge magnet. The device has a decent thickness and the sides are curved, which makes it comfortable to grip. Also at the back, there's also a huge POCO branding alongside with its cameras. From afar, looking at the cameras, you might have thought it has a quad camera setup because of the extra circles they included in the module. But in fact, it only has two sensors. The POCO M4 Pro 5G has three color options, namely POCO Yellow, Cool Blue, and Power Black, which is the one that we have. Flipping to its front, it has a large screen with thin bezels, a slightly thicker chin, and a hole punch at the middle top for the 16 megapixel selfie camera. Just above it in the bezel is the earpiece. For buttons and ports, on the right side we have the power/lack button that also doubles as a fingerprint scanner and the volume keys. The buttons are firm and clicky, and despite it being a tall device, the buttons are easy to reach as they are placed near the center of the frame. Meanwhile, on the left is a hybrid card slot for either 2 nano SIM cards or 1 nano SIM card plus a micro SD card. On the top we have the loudspeaker, an IR blaster, and the secondary microphone. Down at the bottom you can find its down-firing loudspeaker, USB Type-C port, 3.5mm headphone jack, and the main microphone. Overall, the phone feels nice and solid in the hands, and it is light enough for you to carry around. Moving on to the display, the POCO M4 Pro 5G features a large 6.6-inch IPS LCD dot display with a 2400 by 1080 resolution, or equals to 399 ppi, and 450 nits typical brightness. The panel also has a touch sampling rate of up to 240 Hz and can switch its refresh rate between 60 Hz and 90 Hz. For protection, it has Corning Gorilla Glass 3 with a screen protector pre-installed. The screen is sharp enough for watching videos on YouTube or Netflix or even playing games. It is bright enough and the colors are also sufficiently vibrant. When using it outdoors, the 450 nits of brightness isn't exactly that usable. Just take note of that. The phone has a single downward firing speaker coupled with the earpiece, doing double duty as a separate speaker. You can't really say that this has a stereo speaker setup, as the bottom speaker does the heavy lifting in terms of the overall sound, while the earpiece provides the high frequencies if you try to listen to it closely. Getting past the imbalance of the sound between the two speakers, the phone can produce a good enough sound for most cases. For those who want more, the headphone jack is always there at your disposal. For software, it runs on Android 11 skin with MIUI 12.5.1, and there are plenty of extra features, especially for customizing the POCO launcher. Pre-installed apps are also present like Amazon, Facebook, TikTok, WPS Office, iQIYI, LinkedIn, 92, and Booking.com. But remember that these apps can easily be uninstalled if you are not planning to use them. It offers an app drawer, but unlike on the Redmi phones, you cannot disable it on the POCO M4 Pro 5G. It automatically organizes your apps into categories. The POCO M4 Pro 5G is available in either 64 or 128 gigs of internal storage. The unit we have has the latter, and out of the 128 gigs, we get a usable of 108 gigs out of the box. You can expand it through the hybrid SIM card slot if you still need more space. For biometrics, we have the side-mounted fingerprint scanner and the face unlock. Both are reliable enough, but of course, expect the fingerprint scanner to work faster. Now powering this device is a MediaTek Dimensity 810 paired with a Mali G57 MC2 GPU, 4 gigs or 6 gigs of RAM, and 64 or 128 gigs of internal storage. Performance-wise, as expected, is great. There's no lags or choking when launching apps and multitasking. Gaming for long periods of time can cause some stutters and a bit of warming at the back, but performance is relatively okay for demanding games like Genshin Impact and its highest graphics settings available at 60 frames per second and Asphalt 9 as its default settings. For numbers, check out these benchmark scores that we got. Now let's talk about the cameras. Despite looking like it has a quad rear camera setup, it really only has 2 cameras on its back that are composed of a 50 megapixel AI main and an 8 megapixel ultra-wide. While for selfies, there's 16 megapixel front camera. Camera performance does not disappoint as expected. Shooting in well-lit conditions, the phone managed to snap some very impressive photos. Same with the ultra-wide, details are present and dynamic range is also good. However, with the HDR turned on, the colors are a little muted and flat. But that won't be a problem if you spend a good few minutes in post-processing bumping up the saturation and tweaking the contrast. Portrait shots, on the other hand, are also nicely done. As for night mode, shots taken look decent. However, details are a bit muddy and noise is still present. It's still usable for social media posting though. For selfies, shots taken in bright conditions have decent sharpness and natural colors. Portrait effects also work great here. There's also a beauty mode that you can tweak on if you want to enhance your selfies. When it comes to video recording, it can shoot up to 1080p at 60 frames per second. Quality is okay, details are present, however colors are a little bit off and there's no video stabilization here, so expect it to be shaky. Better use a tripod or avoid taking videos with your free hand. When it comes to connectivity, it features dual SIM with 5G, fast Wi-Fi 6, Bluetooth 5.2, NFC, GPS, and IR blaster. The battery is also large at 5000 mAh with 33 watt fast charging. PC Mark War 3.0 battery test rated it at 16 hours and 48 minutes, while in our standard video loop test, which involves playing 1080p video on loop at 50% brightness and volume in airplane mode turned on, with headphones plugged in and refresh rate set to 60Hz, we got a score of 17 hours of playback. Both of these are good results and definitely can provide you a whole day of use even with heavy gaming. Now to conclude this video, the POCO M4 Pro 5G is priced at 11,990 pesos for the 4GB plus 64GB variant and 12,990 pesos for the 6GB plus 128GB of internal storage model. So if you are on a budget, the POCO M4 Pro 5G could be worthy of your consideration. It has some features that flagship phones have, like a display with a higher than average refresh rate, it has a very impressive camera system for its price, 5G ready, and it has a battery that will last you throughout the entire day. So what do you guys think about the POCO M4 Pro 5G? Do let us know in the comment section below, and if you enjoyed this video, be sure to drop a like, subscribe to our channel for more content, hit that bell icon so you don't miss any future uploads, and be sure to visit yugatech.com for the latest tech news and reviews. This has been Arel, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.